Today's a big day, guys. I just broke 8 months on my semen retention streak. What? 8 freaking months, guys. Broke 240 days. And I'm just going to be breaking down where I'm at, where my thought process is at on this journey. If you guys are on semen retention, doing your best to get on a long streak or something like that, you might find this valuable, so stick around. Just broke 8 months. My goal from the start has been to hit a full 12 months on this streak without releasing, and I'm gonna hit it. I'm absolutely gonna hit it. It's funny, I didn't necessarily know this was going to be the streak, you know, as they say, the streak that finally you get locked the F in and you get on a crazy long one. Like, I didn't know this was gonna be the one. I've been doing semen retention on and off for years. Finally got my shit together, started to put the patterns together of having used this in the past at specific times of my life to get specific things. I'm like, finally pieced it all together. The motivation was finally there for me. Now, I've, shocker, seen some comments where guys are like, 240 days is extreme, you know. You clearly have a problem with women, with whatever, with, there's a deeper problem, this is too extreme, this is madness. It's like, okay, you can say that. That's fine. Historically, I haven't had an issue with women getting women. That hasn't been the issue. The issue has been that there's been things that I need to take care of to complete in the hierarchy of needs, which is a pyramid, before getting to that next point of like a healthy, thriving, long-term committed relationship. And that's what I've recognized in my life is getting in the way of that from happening. And that is why I'm on semen retention, actively solving that right now. You guys should hit pause if you haven't heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Google that, look that up. It's a pyramid. Oh, you're gonna think I'm throwing like the freaking Illuminati signs or something. Look up the pyramid, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They're gonna be like, you're only on 240 days because you're in the Illuminati. No, bro, it's not how you do this. Although I'm willing to bet a lot of those people are using semen retention now that I think of it. Look it up. It's a pyramid. I forgot how many levels it has, like maybe 4 or 5 levels. And the bottom of the pyramid, guys, it starts with survival needs. Shelter, food, health, whatever, things to survive. And then you go to the next level. It's things slightly above that aren't quite as necessary for survival. And then you go up again, and you go up again. And towards the middle, you start getting into relationships, but at the very top, you start getting into purpose, fulfillment, mission. And I want you to think about this. If your mission and your purpose is to impact the world in a certain way and give all this value back to the world, but you don't have shelter, you don't have food taken care of, are you going to be able to thrive with that mission and actually succeed with that mission, with that purpose? No, probably not. And the same could go for relationships. Are you going to have your best relationship, thriving relationship that you've always wanted? Are you going to have that if you're still taking care of base needs and stuff at the bottom? And it might be health, it might be whatever, and it might be a step above the pyramid, above that level. Who knows? Go look at it. Start to analyze where you're at on that. Because I still have a couple things that I'm actively solving right now and checking off that thing, and I'm aiming my semen retention at doing that. And I know on this channel I talk a lot about, don't ever say that you're trying to do something you're doing, like just say that it's already done. But that is difficult to have a conversation, a transparent, authentic conversation about that with you guys, which is why I'm choosing to do that right now. Otherwise, it's hard to create something that you'll relate to for a motivational video. So that's the thing, guys. 240 days of semen retention. I have a lot of effing energy stored up. And there are moments where I am a horny mother trucker, and there are women that are popping up and appearing, and yes, I'm starting to get their numbers. Taking a slip out of the Bogdan Pathfinder podcast advice. After my interview with him on his podcast, we talked for a little while, and he was talking this idea of, listen, like, get the number, but put them in the semen retention lobby. Put them in the lobby. You don't have to act on the number right away. You don't have to do something right away with it, but you have it if you want it. If something could develop down the line. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So I'm starting to get the numbers instead of just ignoring all these women. I'm like, okay, it probably makes more sense to get a number. And then, for example, there's a girl whose number I got a couple days ago. She's cute. A lot of things in alignment with my type. But it still doesn't actively feel like the right next step for me, because there's still a couple things that I'm checking off that I would prefer to use this semen retention to aim it at that and accomplish that. And I'm also right now working through how I could potentially at least start to maybe go on dates or spend time with women, but make sure that I draw very specific lines in the sand, boundaries about what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do right now, which is hilarious, guys, because normally you would think it's like the roles are flipped. Normally as a guy, we're like, oh, no, we just want to take the girl home, right? we want to clap some cheeks, right? That's what it normally looks like. But now, guys, as Bogdan says, you hold a gift, you hold a treasure. On this SR, guys, 240 days of semen retention energy is freaking crazy, and that's been bringing so much benefit and value to my life. I'm not yet satisfied, so I don't want to give that energy up. And I know if I historically I've had a pattern where I can have a tendency to rush things a little bit with women, get too physical too fast. Let's be real, like it's kind of a tough thing to push back on as a man. So my mindset now, guys, is seeing if I can find a way to do both things well, to start to actually get to know women and not necessarily just blocking myself off from everybody, but at the same time still stay locked in on this semen retention journey. Because something that I have been working through is like, okay, how long is long enough on semen retention, right? The longer you start to go on this, guys, you're going to realize that the crazy physical effects, all this stuff starts to wear off, and then it's like you become used to it. It's not even that it goes away. It's just that your nervous system is now used to holding this amount of energy. Like, it's becoming normal, and your body's starting to use it. You just start to get used to the stuff. Like, I always make this comparison of, like, buying this Tesla. For the first 6 months, whoa, this is crazy, this is so cool. But now, I've had it for 8-9 months or something, and the benefits are still there. I'm still enjoying it. It's still fun to push the pedal down and just feel this thing rip and fly past everybody, and like the benefits are still there, but the thing is, I'm just kind of used to them now. Kind of starting to just take them for granted a bit. Starting to just like, oh yeah, of course, it's my Tesla, right? I just expect it. Whereas before, you know, leveling up from a junkier car, that level up is like, whoa, this thing is like a spaceship. This is the coolest thing in the world. I'm so happy. Whoa. Every time you get in, it's like, wow. That's what's happening with semen retention, guys. Energetically, you've been in the crappy car for a really long time. These bad habits, giving your sexual energy away, you've been depleted. And you start to not do that. You start to take control of those urges and start to reprogram your mind and your habits. You start to conserve this energy and aim it at things in life that you're excited about. Whoa, yeah, you're gonna start noticing benefits. Bro, you were running on empty down here. Now you're starting to like fill your tank up. Of course you're gonna start to notice benefits. But the longer you go on SR, you become used to those things. Your nervous system is now calibrated to hold that energy well, to be familiar with that amount of energy. It's not like, oh, I need to get rid of this. This is a lot of energy. Like early on with streaks. No, you start to get used to this. And then the game becomes an internal level up, internal transformation. That's what becomes the focus, and that's what I've been experiencing. And now it's a lot of stuff, yeah, around past things that have happened, healing, forgiveness, grief, traumas, stuff like that coming up, and doing that internal work, and being now super aware of shortcomings in my life and how I'm showing up in ways that I'm not showing up well. And guys, it's like semen retention. It starts to spotlight the areas in your life that you are not where you're supposed to be. And with semen retention, you are raising your frequency, right? You're raising your energy. Look at the Hawkins scale of consciousness. It kind of maps that out for you and explains how as your frequency rises, your emotions rise, and then the opportunities to experience those emotions from external experiences start to happen. You kind of just start to level up your life with your vibration, with your frequency. And as you're doing semen retention, guys, is naturally raising your frequency with this life force, this life energy. But there's going to be an incongruence between low frequency, low energy BS that you're still holding on to, that you haven't gotten rid of or worked through or healed from yet. As your frequency starts to rise, like there's going to start to be an incongruence. And this stuff it's naturally going to have to be spotlit. It's going to become more obvious. You're going to become more aware of it. And it's honestly really shitty. It's not the most enjoyable thing in the world to be super aware of that stuff. And this might be why a lot of guys don't want to eventually get on long SR streaks, because this is the painful shit that you have to work through, that you have to heal to level up and become that next version of yourself. And it isn't easy. That's why most people don't do it. Most men don't want to do it. So on this journey, guys, as I get longer and longer on this streak, I just start to realize that, like, okay, yeah, you climb one mountain to get to the top of it and say, yeah, I climbed the mountain. And you look over and you see the next mountain ahead of you that's just a little bit taller. So you can't even see over that one. So you don't know what's on the other side of it. But now you know that there's another mountain ahead of you that you have to climb. And then you work your tail off and you climb that thing. And then you get to that one. And there's another mountain right behind it that's a little bit taller. And you're like, mother effer, I thought this would be the mountain peak moment. I did it. I accomplished it. My vibration's getting higher. I'm working through a lot of stuff, only to realize, oh, there's another layer of the onion. There's another thing to work through. There's another thing to process. Now, the caveat is this. The right woman can be an asset to help work through this stuff. And I'm open to this. This is the thing. I actually am becoming more and more open to a relationship with a woman that is actually an asset to this healing, to this growth, and isn't just a liability, isn't just looking to take, is also looking to give and multiply, right? And that's something that I'm trusting is the longer that I do SR, I am becoming a better version of myself in the process, and my energy, my frequency is getting higher, it's getting more pure. And because of that, wouldn't it make sense if we attract the energy that we put out, the frequency that we vibrate at, would it not make sense that then you would start to attract higher caliber women that are actually down for that same thing, are interested in that same thing? So that's where I'm at these days. And don't get me wrong, there are days, guys, where I'm horned up as a mother trucker and I'm like, oof, it would be nice to go find a nice lady and release this energy with, right? That would be nice. But then I'm also thinking through, like, okay, remember, Jason, sex is an energetic exchange. You're exchanging your energy, your beliefs, your downloads, your energy fields. So be really intentional with who you want to give this energy to, because, bro, you've been working your tail off. You just freaking have leveled up the last 8 months doing something that hasn't been easy. You're purifying your energy field. And here's the thing too, guys, we forget that, oh, we'll just watch a little bit of this screen, we'll just watch a little bit of this thing. Oh no, it's just a quick whatever. The corn, guys, these websites, there's a lot of negative energy attached to this stuff, around this stuff, that when you subject yourself to it, you're agreeing to it, and it's coming into your energy field, and your thought forms and your body are reacting to it. Those thoughts don't just disappear when you're done with it. They hang around in your energy field. There's longer lasting implications to this. And that's firmly why I believe that porn and lust in this sexualized culture has been such a big part of this reality, because they know, man, if we can get men at a young age, if we get the boys to fall into this trap, like we're gonna be able to mess them up real good long term. If we can get them at a young enough age, man, we're gonna be locked in their subconscious mind, and these habits, they're gonna eat away at them, and they're essentially gonna take away your power, take away men's power as they get older. So it's being really intentional. Like, something so simple as that is hanging around in your energy field. What does that look like for women? What might be hanging around in their energy fields? And not saying that everybody is perfect, but you want to find somebody that is actively interested in growing and leveling up and becoming the best version of themselves, and still be your type, still be, a woman that you're excited about buying into and investing in and growing with. So I am open to that. I absolutely am open to that, but I do want to make sure that I'm also able to show up in the best way possible and help her, right? Assist with her. If we get back to the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's like, okay, well, it gets easier to build towards the top of that pyramid once you have the base foundations laid of your needs met. For example, it gets a lot easier to find a woman to settle down with, have a family, when you have stability financially, right? Because that's going to put her at ease. She can focus on the family. She can focus on the kids, that side of things, being the housewife, being that side of things, and you can bring the financial support. That's one analogy. That's one aspect of it. $240, yeah, I guess today's day 241 days. I'm also, guys, coming to grips with a lot of emotions around grief and sadness and aging, and I'm not even talking about myself. Those around me, the generation ahead of us, and processing a lot of that. Like, it's, guys, ideally, the longer that you do semen retention, this energy you start to be able to move this up into your heart center and kind of crack your heart open a little bit and start to look around you and be like, man, what could I do to help people around me? Like, one of my neighbors, dude, is like, he's an older gentleman. The dude can barely walk. And it just, you look at him like, I know that guy has probably got a laundry list of medications and stuff that he's going through. And, you know, he's out there walking this little dog and they're just going like so slow. And it's, you know, at one point I'm like, it's just, it's really frustrating. I look at that, I'm like, man, why does the world have to be like that? You know? Why does there have to be that level of dis-ease and unawareness and asleepness and victimness and powerlessness? Right? Kind of just, it starts to break your heart a little bit. The more you start to look around, you're like, shit. Because as my life starts to get better and improve, I'm able to look up every now and then and look around and be like, oh, I not focus on myself 24/7 and look around and like, oh, here's what other people are going through. Shit. How can I make a difference? How can I make an impact? What can you do? And then you get to the conclusion, it's like, yeah, there's stuff that you can do, but also everyone is on their own journey, needing to learn lessons that they signed up for in this life. You can only do so much for people, right? You can, what do they say? You can take the horse to the water, lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't make somebody do something. You could say, hey, I know exactly how to help you in this health struggle, this health issue that you're going through. I know exactly how to help you. You have to do X, Y, Z. But if they're not willing to take the action, like, it's, certain things aren't meant for them. They're not in congruence with it. It's like, you can't force that on people, even if you want to make their lives better in some way, shape, or form. It has to be a choice that they make. And that's been an aspect of this, guys, is, granted, I'm still dealing with a lot of grief around losing my mom last July, and we're getting close to a year, which is crazy. I'm still working through a lot of that. It's kind of awakening in empathy for others. Just a realization of that in life. So that's been another thing that I've been dealing with is, yeah, that emotional side of this, guys. Is okay, as you start to address your needs and life starts to get better, you can start to look around and see, oh my gosh, like, why did I choose to come here? You know, I know there's a greater purpose, a greater mission for me to partake in. And then when I start to lock in on this, all these lustful thoughts and these urges to go, you know, hook up with chicks, start getting into the world of dating again, that doesn't seem so exciting anymore. Because now it's like, yeah, I could aim my energy at that. Or I could keep leveling up into the next version of myself, a better version of myself, until, you know, I can really start to make the impact that I know that I'm meant for. Just something to think about as you're going along this semen retention journey. And maybe I'm in a unique position and this isn't relevant or resonating for you guys. Or, hey, maybe you are getting the longer streaks and starting to notice, oh, as I'm starting to take care of lower needs of mine with this semen retention energy, like, for example, aiming this energy at business and growth and finances and opportunities like that is absolutely a part of this, guys. And here's the thing. I like the version of me that I'm showing up as now. I'm way less victim mindseted, right? I'm way more aware. I've got this masculine urge to just accomplish things and show up and just like get the thing done and build and grow and solve problems. Like, this is really fun. So when guys are like, yo, semen retention makes you wealthy, makes you rich, just hold your seat. It's like, well, that's the first domino that you have to tip over. Once you tip that thing over, then it's a matter of, okay, now what do I aim all this energy at that I'm holding on to? What if I showed up better in my business? And guys, there is a frequency element. Like, as your frequency is rising, you're going to attract greater opportunities. This is why men are like, man, life just seems to get easier. Things just start to happen easier. I'm getting opportunities. Things are falling in my lap. Yeah, because that's the frequency at work. That's like the law of attraction. You're vibrating at a new frequency, a higher frequency. You're going to get higher experiences to confirm that for you in your reality. Awesome. But there's an aspect to pairing that with right action. Showing up, aiming this at something. Ideally, your passion, something you're excited about, something that can offer long-lasting value to your life that you can invest in, that invests back into you over the long haul. That's what I'm excited about right now. So I'm just looking at my life, guys, and I just like who I'm showing up as more. I like this version of me that I am becoming more. And don't get me wrong, there's still this deep desire for intimacy with women, a deep relationship connection with the right woman, yeah. But also, I'm way less lonely than I used to be before this long SR streak. And I'm way more content to just be with myself and enjoy my company and work on stuff and find satisfaction in my life and the stuff that I'm doing. Like, that's been really great too. It's just a really odd place to get to the longer you start to go on these SR streaks. I really don't know what the purpose of this video is other than to just share where I'm at with you guys 8 months into this semen retention journey. Let me know if any of this is actually resonating with you, if this is making sense. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm off here, but I guess I can't really be off. I'm just talking about my experience. I'm not really trying to sell you on anything. Anyways, that's the update, guys. 800, wow. Let's say 840 days, that would be significant. I would have hit my 12-month goal by now. 240 days on this SR streak. And again, the other thing too is I'm just been tired, working through some stuff physically with my body, and also having a lot of breakthroughs, but just like a little tired. But one of the things too, guys, that I really, really love about this semen retention journey is even when you are tired, even when you don't feel like you got enough sleep to be energized, you can still show up and accomplish things throughout the day and get things done. Sit down here and make a 30-minute video for you guys, even if I'm tired. Before this semen retention streak that I'm on right now, I wouldn't be able to sit down here and offer 30 minutes of coherent thoughts and messages just normally without having to go in and edit the crap out of it, because I would forget things, and like my memory wasn't as on point. And now even when I'm tired, I'm still able to sit down here and show up and say, oh no, I could make a video tonight. I could do something for the channel. I'm still able to do that. I freaking love that. It's such an underrated benefit of SR, guys, is that the clarity and the drive and the ability to just have thoughts and coherently explain those things well. That's one of my favorite things. I had the thought, I'm like, man, at what point here do I want to keep doing these one a day video drops? Like, at what point do I start to go every other day, or, you know, a couple videos a week or something like that? And those thoughts are crossing my mind, and there comes a point, guys, where you can only talk about semen retention so much. There's only so much that I can share with you. There's probably a video on my channel, because there's 200 plus videos already posted and shared. It's like, there's probably another video on this channel with this message in a slightly different way, shape, form, whatever. So I am playing around with this idea of slowly starting to speak more into the energetics and the manifestation and what that looks like, and I'm slowly starting to introduce that a little bit more into this channel. So we'll see where that goes. But if you guys do still enjoy these daily vlog style videos where I'm just talking through the things that I'm experiencing and working through whatever, let me know. Drop in the comments. I am keeping an eye on those to kind of see what works for everybody, if there's still value in this for everybody. Anyways, guys, it's getting close to midnight. I'm gonna go get some videos uploaded for you all, but keep winning, keep pushing through. This is just my perspective of where I'm currently at on 240 days of semen retention, 8 months. And let me know your thoughts. Where are you at? What are you experiencing? Curious. Peace, love, abundance to you all. I'll catch you in the next one.